Hi everyone, welcome to our small balcony food garden. It feels really special that we can grow food up here because it's something we didn't think we could really do much of without a backyard. We started small with just a few herbs and tomatoes last year, and then we got a bit carried away this year with adding just one more container over and over until it turned into this luscious little oasis that we love to spend time in and harvest food from right outside our door. We've been growing and harvesting a surprising amount of food from our small container garden, and we've been able to eat from it all summer long. Probably partly because we have so many containers now, but also because we've been doing succession planting, where we plant new crops once the previous one is not producing much anymore. So we've always got some seedlings on the go, and we've always got something fresh to eat. We have bumblebees that come visit our flowers every day, and we love to slow down and just watch them fill up on nectar and pollinate the plants. We also see these white butterflies that visit our garden all the time, and we loved them until we realized they're actually cabbage moths that are eating our plants. So we obviously still have a lot to learn about our insect visitors. We come out here several times a day to water the garden, to harvest veggies, to see what's flowering, and just to enjoy how beautiful it looks at golden hour when the sun is setting. We're super excited to show you what we've been up to, so let's go take a peek in the garden. We're growing some of our favorite vegetables, including 3 kinds of cherry tomatoes, 2 types of sugar snap peas, as well as kale, beets, and cucumbers. And we're also growing jalapeno peppers and purple beans for the first time. 3 of the herbs we use all summer long are parsley, basil, and mint, and so we've got lots of those growing. We also had cilantro and dill growing, which are both so delicious, but they went to seed once the weather got hot, so we're going to plant more when the weather cools down later this summer. And we're so happy we made space to plant flowers up here because they add bright pops of color to the garden. We have nasturtiums, which are edible, so we often eat the flowers and the leaves. We have calendula, which can be used for a lot of things, but so far we just like looking at them. And we also have some marigolds to attract pollinators and because they're stunning. The balcony is a good size for us, but we've got some seating and a storage box for cushions on one side. So the garden, where it is now, is about 45 square feet or 4 square meters. But so far we really love having plants to take care of and fresh food to eat right outside our door, so it seems pretty inevitable that the garden's going to take over a bit more space next year. We mainly plant in 3 different types of containers. So far our favorite ones are these rectangular planters because they're nice and deep, so plant roots have room to grow, and because they have feet to elevate them off the ground so moisture doesn't build up underneath. They're nice and stable, and they're great for our taller veggies like tomatoes, peppers, and peas. We also use these long, shallow window boxes, and they're great for herbs and lettuce and radishes, but bigger veggies are not very happy in these. Like you can see, this kale hasn't grown at all since we transplanted it here. And finally, we have these round pots that we've been using for our tomatoes. They're nice and easy to move around, but we find they're a little unstable when it's windy out, so next year we might only plant flowers and shorter vegetables in these. One of the reasons we try to stick to just a few types of containers is because we don't have much space to store them over the winter, so buying the same shape and size is going to make it easier to just stack them together at the end of the season, so they take up less space. We also like using plastic containers instead of clay pots or wood boxes because they're super lightweight and durable. We're constantly moving the containers around when we water, when we weed and harvest, and we also move them around a lot to protect the plants if it's too hot or too windy or if there's a big storm. So it helps our bags when they're easy to pick up. We also built a couple of things this year to make gardening easier and to optimize our outdoor space. We made this cedar slat table that helps raise our window boxes off the ground so they get more sunlight, and we designed it to fit perfectly in this unused space. And it fits 2 storage bins underneath, so we can store our tools and containers, soil, and compost out of sight. And we also built these 2 small cedar stools that we can sit on when we're planting and harvesting, and they're way more comfortable than crouching and kneeling on patio stones. Setting up this balcony garden has been quite a lot of work, and it's definitely been a learning curve trying to figure out how to keep our plants alive and thriving up here. We've been trying out different fertilizers to keep the plants healthy. We've been managing different insect pests like aphids and cabbage moths, and we've figured out how to keep the garden watered with a small irrigation system if we're away. But by far the biggest challenge has been the elements and protecting the garden from heat waves, downpours, and high winds. Despite the hard work, it has been kind of funny to see how quickly we've become obsessed with gardening and growing our own food. We're both reading gardening books and watching gardening videos and looking up new seeds we can try growing next year. And it just feels really good to have a hobby that gets us outside and teaches us new things and provides us with fresh food that we grew ourselves. If you want to see more gardening and homesteading videos, check out our Growing Food playlist. We've featured some really inspiring folks over the years who are growing food on balconies, rooftops, backyards, and homesteads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.